Okay. Hi, Anna.
Hey.
Okay, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. I'm Natalie Phillips. So thank you all for joining us today. As you listen to the session, if you wouldn't mind keeping yourself muted, but if you've got questions, please feel free to add those to the chat and we'll make sure that we get to those at the end. You can also feel free to rename yourself. If you go to your little window, there's a three dots and you can rename yourself if you want to put your affiliation or your preferred pronouns. You can also turn closed captioning on. So we do have a closed captioner here, that's at the bottom menu bar. And then lastly, feel free to share your reactions and encouragement as Eric speaks at the reaction bottom. You can give him a thumbs up or whatever. So as a little introduction, Eric Joel Salazar is a clarinetist, performer, composer, and band leader who makes music that's somewhere between pop and classical. He is also a speaker, educator, and active member of his community. Salazar enjoys uniting people of differing backgrounds by sharing jaw-dropping experiences of feeling through new classical music. And he'll be speaking to us today about Creativia, which is an immersive role-playing experience. It's part brain break, part think tank for considering how the arts can move forward during a worldwide crisis. So please take it away, Eric.
Hi. Yes, I'm Eric Salazar, and I'm a clarinetist and composer and arts administrator. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, but I wanted to let you see my face before we went into PowerPoint mode. The way today is gonna go is we are going to do something that I think is fun, and hopefully you will too. We are basically going to attempt to do a virtual role-playing game experience. And what the goal is for this is we are trying to A, take a little bit of a brain break, but also B, we're trying to, in a safe space and controlled environment, flex our creative problem solving skills. So we're gonna do a little bit of improv speaking and thinking and focus grouping based on a fictional story that I have created. And in the non-pandemic times, we would have a bunch of different tables and we would all have tables and things like that. But we're doing it remotely right now. So I'm going to get started by explaining how this is going to work, and then we're actually going to open it up to the fun part, which is basically a game experience. Just some warm-up things that were already covered, but feel free to observe this slide. You can rename yourself. I've done that. Also, if you don't like looking at yourself like me, there's another thing you can do if you click on the three dots called Hide Self View, and then your self is hidden and it feels more like a phone call and less like a I'm looking at myself. This is the land acknowledgement, which I know has been stated already. I'm not going to, in a redundant way, restate everything, but I do just want to say that, you know, we are not so much in control of things that happened before our existence, but we are absolutely in control of what happens now. So there are things that are not necessarily our fault, but they are our fight. So I'd like to acknowledge that there are traditional lands of indigenous people that we are living on, and as well as there are descendants of enslaved Africans that we interact with on a regular basis, and just want to take a moment to acknowledge that. All right, so let's talk about what we're doing here today. First and foremost, what is this thing? I'm going to be throwing around terms like role-playing game and think tank and whatnot, but basically what we're doing is we're going to play a little bit of a guided game of pretend, and it's going to be in a fictional setting that is gonna be it's gonna be close to home. It's gonna hit close to home. But apart from the game elements, basically what we're doing is we are gonna do collaborative storytelling. We're gonna do some problem solving, and we may actually break character, so to speak, and engage in some authentic dialogue depending on how the story goes. And although I hope this is fun, and it is definitely a game, I've also found that these sort of controlled improv storytelling experiences can really help us feel confident in our ability to problem solve. And it can help us feel, if we do it in a fictional environment, it sometimes helps us feel confident enough to present our creative idea in a staff meeting, for example, to speak up when we think we have a way to solve a problem. So again, it's going to be a game, but it's also, I'm basically trying to trick you into learning things. Right, so today I've got some, you can't see me, I'm using air quotes, rules. Again, we're going to use our imagination today. I'm going to be posing questions, and each of you is going to actually be donning a character. So you're going to be assigned a character, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit about your character, and then you're going to be role-playing or pretending to be that character as they're navigating our shared story. So it is going to require speaking to each other, but that is the fun part. Right. And if you've never played a role-playing game before, basically what we're trying to do here is, again, we're going to pretend to be someone else for a little while, and we are going to exist in a fictional setting, and I've designed that fictional setting so that it will present similar problems that we are facing in our day-to-day lives right now, but you will be pretending to be someone else who is navigating those problems, and through this exercise hopefully we'll get something out of it that you can bring to the table in real life. So, how to play. What we're going to be doing is, well, our goals for what we're doing today is I'm going to be presenting problems, imaginary problems, and hopefully we'll be working together to solve them. And once you learn who your character is, your goal is to act in the way that you think they would. So again, this is sort of like an improv theater kind of exercise, and there's not really specifically a right or a wrong to it. Sometimes I may ask you to roll some dice. And if you don't have any dice, then that's okay, because Google exists and you can just type in roll 3d6 and it'll roll some dice for you. Additionally, each of you has one impact point. And what that impact point does is it makes you automatically succeed on a dice roll. You only get one of them, and it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you quote-unquote win the game, but it definitely guarantees that something that you want to have happen happens. So that is how to play. the gameplay is essentially speaking. We're just going to be talking to each other, and you are going to, like, if you're presented with a problem, you're going to have to speak and narrate what your character might do, and then that will advance the story forward. All right. Now, along with the how to play, there are certain skills that we will be using. So apart from speaking, be thinking about these 5 skills that are going to be related to our dice rolls. So the first skill is creation, which is making things. There's a character that is an artist that is very good at this. The second skill is administration, which is organizing things. Collaboration, working with others. Resource gathering, which is acquiring things. And heartstrings, which is just that intangible emotional tug that sometimes makes things happen. So, just to break down how a skill thing might work is, let's say your character has been asked to get to a venue. All right. Now, normally this would be no problem, but because it's a game, you might have to make a dice roll. And the way you describe how you get to that venue will tell me which skill check you need to make. So, for example, if you think your character would want to take the bus to get to a venue, that's probably an administration check. So you would roll dice using the administration skill because you're going to be plotting out the bus route and figuring out the schedules and that kind of thing. If you think that your character would want to catch a ride from a friend, that's probably more of a collaboration check because you'd be calling up a friend and asking them for a ride. Or if you think your character would invent a automatically propelled bicycle for this occasion, then that would be more of a creation check. So, that is in a nutshell how we play. If a lot of that went over your head, don't worry. All you need to do is just talk, and then I will tell you if you need to do anything else. Okay, so let's look through the cast of characters. We have 5 characters, and what we're going to do today is we are going to... some of you are going to be on a team together, as opposed to having one of each character. But here's the cast of characters, and then after this I will tell you which character you are. So, we have the artist. The artist is a master of an art form of your choice. And just so you can be thinking about who this may be, I've got a little short bio for the artist. The artist took a non-traditional path in their art form and often finds themselves at the forefront of innovation in their chosen medium, in a way that causes others to raise their eyebrows. Their years of work and creativity have turned them into a widely accepted leader in the arts community. However, they still sometimes find themselves underpaid and under-respected. The artist's biggest weakness is that they will often work for a reduced rate out of the kindness of their heart. Yeah, I'm not talking about myself at all. Let's see. Okay, so next character is the admin. So the administrator is someone who's highly organized, and if there is something comes up in the game that requires some serious organizational skills, then the admin will be the best person to do it. Here's the admin's bio. You are highly organized and exceptional at managing projects. Despite an outstanding track record, you recently got laid off and are actively seeking new employment. Because of your ability to produce results, you are being looked at by several local organizations and individual artists. You know that there is more money in working for an organization, but there's something thrilling about working for individual artists. Your biggest weakness is that you are scared of disrupting a system that seems to work for you. Third character option is the manager. The manager is basically the master collaborator. They are wonderful at working with others and managing people, and they're the leader of a small but mighty arts organization that is on the brink of closure. They've gotten by so far through pooling resources and bartering, but long for more stability. The manager finds themselves worrying not just about their own future, but the future of all the artists and employees they work with. The manager's biggest weakness is that they don't consider the resources they need before jumping into a project. Our fourth character is the fundraiser, and they are an expert at resource gathering and finding things. And the fundraiser's bio is, after years of success working for a top-tier organization, you decided to leave to start up a consultation business on your own. You have the freedom that you desire, but are finding that securing funding is more challenging without the household name of your former employer. Your tenacity and industry knowledge has helped countless artists get paid, but you feel that you could do more. The fundraiser's biggest weakness is that they overwork themselves all the time. And our final character is the wild card. The wild card is skilled in that intangible, the heartstrings. This is the kind of person that's, well, here's the bio for the wild card. It's hard to say if you are a savant or just lucky. Regardless, you seem to always be there to play a role in critical moments. You do what needs to be done when it needs to happen. Because you are such a chameleon, however, you often wonder if you are actually valued or just stuck doing the work no one else will do. You are also so good at most things that you usually end up deciding to just get them done yourself. Your biggest weakness is that you don't trust others to do work at the same quality you can. So, those are our characters, and let's take a brief pause here to I'm looking at the chat now. That's funny. Yeah, it's real. So let's just take a quick pause here to assign everyone a character. All right. So I'm just gonna do it this way. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. So Anna, you are going to be the artist.
Oh, yay.
So you're very good at creation. Natalie, you are going to be the admin. So you are good at administration.
Perfect.
Bridget, you are going to be the manager. So you're skilled in collaboration. I am seeing Rachel Wilkin. You are going to be the fundraiser. You're good at gathering resources. I'm seeing a Stephanie. You are going to be the wild card. You've got that special something, and you get to play with people's heartstrings. And then I'm also seeing Yelena. And let's see, I'm going to roll a die to see who you're going to get to be. And we're going to have you double up, so you'll be the same kind of character as someone else. Right, 3. Okay, so Yelena, you are going to be a manager. So we've got 2 managers, that's good. So we're really skilled in collaboration on this crew. All right. So what I'd like to do now is let's take a brief, 2 minutes. And I'd like for you, each of you, to think a little bit about your character, who you're going to be. Maybe think about what they look like, maybe using their short bio I presented, fleshing that out a little bit by... There's a lot of ambiguity in them, so maybe an organization name popped into your head. The organization that laid you off, if you're the admin, for example. So let's just take a couple minutes to think about our character and thinking about how they might behave, how they act, what their personality is like. And after that, I will give you an intro of where our story is at so far. I'll just give you about another minute, and once that minute is up, we're going to go around and tell us something. Each of us is going to tell the rest of the group something that we did not know about their character. Something that I didn't say in the bio, perhaps. All right. So we're going to go around and introduce our characters to the rest of the group. I will start so that you can have a template. I am the game master, which means that I'm going to be the narrator and the referee and sort of facilitating our session today. However, I really wanted to give the game master a name. So the game master's name is Roberto Rosas, whose nickname is Magnifico. And Magnifico will tell you a little bit once we start playing, but Magnifico has been forming a dream team that he's calling the Impact Committee, who will help out the arts in our city. All right, so now I'm just going to go based on my screen, so sorry if it's not what you're seeing on your screen. But Anna, you're first.
Do I need to come up with a name for this character? I didn't get that far.
You don't have to. You can just be
Okay.
the artist.
I'm the artist whose medium is actually fashion, and she she's a she. Um, yeah, and as you mentioned, kind of is pushing some boundaries that make people raise their eyebrows. She does this in a lot of areas of her life, but in her artistic media, she is very much thinking about future fashion and current resources. So as if no resources increased or changed in 100 years, it's all that she has to create the vision of 100 years for. So is a very loud person.
Awesome. I love it. All right, cool. Natalie, you're up.
Okay, I'm pretty excited about this. So my character's name is Angela. I was having trouble separating her from myself, so I decided to describe her as very different from me. So she's very tall and very thin. And so she is very good at what she does, but she's very OCD, so she spends a little too much time on spreadsheets and that kind of stuff. So she kind of annoys people a little with that. And also, fun fact is she microwaves popcorn in the office, and it annoys everybody because it smells really bad. There you go.
That's amazing. That's so believable and relatable. Except for the popcorn part, I was like, yeah, man, I don't know anybody like that with the spreadsheets. All right, cool. Up next is going to be Bridget.
Okay, thank you, Eric. My character is actually a man. He's a he. His name is Connor. And he really likes to do puzzles in his free time.
Awesome. And you're a manager, right? Okay. Sweet. All right, up next is Stephanie.
Can you guys hear me? Yes? Okay, there we go. All right, so my character's name is Dominique Caprio. She loves the arts and she wants to help organizations, but she has no clue how. She used to act a long time ago. She doesn't anymore. But she wants to get into this community because she just moved here. And she has 3 dogs. That's how far I got.
That's awesome. Yay. So it's not just about her and her career. She's got 3 pooches she's got to take care of. All right. Awesome. So next would be Rachel.
Okay. My character's name is Wanda. She has brown hair and green-rimmed glasses. She wears pinstripe suits, has a cat named Sprinkles, and jokes that she sleeps at work.
That's so good. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. I'm making notes as well. Okay, Yelena.
Yeah, so my character, I'm trying to change the picture, but it's not working. Okay, I'll try it later. But at least you can hear me. So my manager, I'm the manager who is the manager, and my name is Steve, and I'm very active. I'm slightly fat because managers need to be kind of schmoozing out all the venue proprietors. Manager is also slightly lazy on the side. That's why he's a manager, but yet he's able to do all the work and book his artists to whatever is supposed to be booked, the shows or exhibition openings. Manager is also has very many connections. He knows everybody in town. He knows when somebody is angry or somebody is hot, and he knows when to come to that person and get what he wants. He is generally slightly underpaid, but he's doing this work not because of money, but he simply loves his artists and whom he represents. That's my 5 cents.
Yay! Awesome. That's so cool. All right, sweet. Yay. All right, so now we all know each other. We're a little bit in character. This is sweet. Okay, so now I'm going to give you an introduction. This is the story so far, and then I'm going to set a scene for you, and then it'll be interaction time. All right. The year is 1943, and America has been at war for 2 years. The media is saying that the country has banded together in many ways, but pockets of division exist, and the arts sector has been hit hard. Despite being essential for keeping the spirits of Americans high, arts funding has been cut, and many services unrelated to the war effort have ceased altogether. Each of you is an arts leader in Creativia, a medium-sized city in the Midwest. The community is looking to you to keep the art going during this crisis. We are embarking on a collaborative storytelling adventure, and the choices you make will shape the outcome of this fictional story. So let's jump into our first scene. And our first scene is you all, each of your characters would maybe know each other, but perhaps aren't super duper bestie best friends, but in the way that many arts people know each other, you all know each other, and you are currently in a conference room. And there has been a man who has been speaking to you on a projector screen, sort of like, imagine like in the James Bond movies where there's just like a TV screen. And he has been calling himself Magnifico, and Magnifico has been telling you that you have been chosen to be a part of his impact committee. And he is a philanthropist in the city, and Magnifico decided to make you and the impact committee because the mayor has recently announced another budget cut to the arts to reallocate funds to the war effort. So Magnifico has just told you that you're now part of this supergroup dream team, and that he has an idea. And that idea is to prove unequivocally the impact of the arts in the city to stakeholders so that it can retain its funding. And in a very dramatic way, Magnifico presents to you two options. Option one will be to hold an exclusive event where these key stakeholders are invited. So we're talking, you know, the mayor, maybe even the governor. We're talking like the top philanthropists in the city. So you can do either a smaller private event, or option B is to hold a large-scale public event that demonstrates community solidarity with the arts. So Magnifico tells you of this, tells you of the plan, and then he says, "Very good. I will leave this to you now. Thank you. I look forward to seeing your work." And then the TV screen closes. So now, all of you are sitting in that conference room with each other, and it's up to you right now. What you're trying to do is decide what direction you want this event to go in. And a good rule of thumb for what we're doing right now is we don't need to be like super duper crazy with the raise hand thing, but just so we're not all like blah, yelling at each other, let's, for now, just so we can facilitate this, use the raise hand feature when you are wanting to speak. Yes, Natalie.
Hi. So I believe my character is someone who didn't like to go outside the status quo or something like that from the description. So I feel like my character would lean towards wanting to go with the private fundraiser. However, considering it's a wartime thing, well, firstly, you're lucky it's 1943 and I don't have a microwave oven to annoy you guys. So anyway, what I think the big public event would probably be nice because it's mobilizing the community. It's I feel like we can relate to this quite a bit right now in our own time, is that maybe people want to get out and they want to join together, and that it would be more than just a fundraiser. I think it would maybe earn as much money, but would be something that's special. And I think the arts has a particularly good role in wartime and pandemic times in helping lift people's spirits. So as I've talked myself through this, my choice would be the large public gathering.
Yeah, Stephanie?
I have to agree with that 100%. If we're talking about proving the impact of the arts upon the city, we need to get the city involved. I don't know if it's possible, but it would be interesting to have a section for the hoity-toity group of people, like the mayor, so they can see the impact that it has on the community. So not only do we get those people together, but we also get that maybe investor group of people that's going to help fund the arts for the community. I don't feel like we should leave either out. I think both are important. I don't know if that's possible, if I need to start resourcing, rolling dice, but that's the direction I'd like to see.
Awesome. Any other thoughts? Oh, yes, Yelena.
Wait. Okay, here we are. Let's see, maybe I can start that video here. Yeah, here I am. So, in this case, you know, when my artists, and as a manager, I have to manage them, or just one. So, in this case, I would actually throw really close, tight party for this nice fat wallets, for the beautiful people. And I'm going to invite the best of my artists, actually create a program for this nice party. So this nice big fat wallets are going to zip out and my artists are going to be supported. But after that, I will have to prove that my idea actually works, and my artists who were just there entertaining our best people will be entertaining a public, because public needs entertainment as well. So this way, I'm actually going to keep my budget happy and my artists working.
All right. Cool. Yes, Anna.
I didn't realize there was a raise hand button. Just found. I, as an artist who is entire medium is about, and vision, creative vision is about the future and the next. I think this is going to need to be a really big participatory project. And I think, you know, let's use this opportunity to say, as creatives, we know what's next, and here it is. And so I'm imagining a parade where it's a city public event, safe for everybody. And maybe if we want to do some like more private, maybe that we could do some workshops or something about creating the future, wearing the future, or whatever it is, with just resources we have, with just things you find in your closet, for the big donors, because we can really make the case to them one-on-one that our creativity is going to take us into whatever's after this war.
Sweet. Okay, so I think, let me make sure I am hearing all this correctly, because we're basically setting up for the super fun part, which is the middle of the game. So anyway, I think what I've heard is that this impact committee is going to hold a large scale event, perhaps a parade, with a like VIP element that has a sort of like private, here, wealthy donors, we're doing this special VIP thing for you. Is that, give me like a thumbs up if that's about correct. Yay, cool. Awesome. And Natalie, did you want, is that a hand thing or, okay. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so now we're gonna turn it over to, if you are a video gamer, there's a term they use called sandbox games. So we're going to turn it over to a less structured thing. But basically, what we're going to do is we are going to enter, every event has to have preparation, right? So we are now going to do some preparations. And the way we will do this is, and this is probably where our dice rolling is going to come in, but the way we're going to do this is each of you is going to decide how you're going to help prepare for this event. And this is where the training your problem-solving skills comes in, because I'm not going to give you options like how I gave you options from Magnifico. So what I'd like to do is, you know what kind of event you're doing. We're going to do a parade with some private VIP party things. It seems like we're leaning towards fashion in terms of the parade, where the art comes from. So think about your characters and think about how they would contribute to the preparation of this event. And I'll go through one at a time. I'll give everyone like a minute or two to think it through, and then we'll go through one at a time and see how you contribute and what impact your contribution has on the event. All right. Is anyone like super certain about what they know? All right, Stephanie and Bridget. We'll do Stephanie first.
So I'm going to get out into the street and I'm going to hand out flyers and get people pumped and get everybody talking about it. I'm going to set up flyers in bars and grocery stores and Starbucks locations. They didn't have that back then. So their local little mom and pop coffee shop, wherever I can find, and be loud and in charge of it. Maybe the mayor's on the float. Maybe we're throwing out candy for the kids, all kinds of stuff. And there's going to be Gucci and Versace or whatever they had back then on the float. You might win something. Who knows? You should come and see. Maybe we'll get some celebrities there. Kardashians on our way. I don't know, but you won't know if you don't come see it. So that's what I'm doing.
Awesome. That is really cool. So what I'd like to do is, do you see this as more of like a collaboration skill thing or a resource gathering skill thing?
Probably resource for me, because I'm not necessarily trying to find the celebrities and stuff. That's not my job. I'm just
cool.
Gather people there.
All right, that sounds good to me. That's the direction I was leaning as well. All right, sweet. So our first dice roll. Yay. So I'd like you to roll 3d6 and tell me what you get.
Can I lie?
I mean, I won't know.
It's not a 1, thank goodness, but it's a 2.
A 2. All right.
Can I re-roll it? Look. Oh, look, a 5. Yay, it's a 5.
Well, actually, if you can roll it 3 times and tell me the total. So you've got 2
5
plus...
and 4.
2, 5, and 4. So 9. So that's 11.
Yep. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, not bad. All right. Cool. So you spend your time... Dominique is your character, right? Dominique spends her time going around, being loud, putting up flyers, and you find that there is... you create enough of a buzz that you attract the attention of this high school girl. Her name is Shanna, and she's really excited about it, and she volunteers to help you hang up flyers. So you gain you can write down or remember that you have a Shanna to help you, a volunteer. And it goes pretty well. You think that it's going to bring in some people, the work you've done. Awesome. Bridget was next.
Yeah, so I'm so glad that Dominique mentioned getting that mayor involved because I think we should too. So Connor is going to put that piece of the puzzle together and invite the mayor to be in the parade. But oh, wait, the mayor's wife is super fashionable. So we're going to invite her to be the chair. Let's get some buy-in. Let's collab with the mayor's office.
That is awesome. All right, go ahead and make a collaboration check. So roll 3d6.
6.
Oh no, that's low. All right, so this is yay, the dice were not in your favor. That's fine. So what happens is you make your pitch and you're really excited, but then when the mayor's wife sees some of the fashion ideas that you are proposing, which presumably came from Anna's character, who is now known as Fsh. So when the mayor's wife sees some of the ideas by Fsh, she declines being the chair because it raised her eyebrow in a way, and she's perhaps a little old school. However,
We can't jump in and help her, can we?
no, not at the moment. However, the mayor himself is now more interested in attending. So basically what happened is you're amongst the social elite, or whatever we want to call them. It's been noticed that the mayor's wife is not going to be in attendance, but the mayor is going to come. So it's not a total loss.
Okay, great.
Sometimes the dice are just against us, just like in real life. Anyway, so who wants to go? Does anyone want to go know what they want to do for sure? Okay, Natalie.
Okay, so I think that Angela, me, would be all about trying to figure out what the parade route is, get the city permits, talk to the police, block off streets, that sort of thing. So I think she would be thinking logistics, the sort of boring, non-artistic stuff as the art historian.
All right, cool. That's gonna just be an administration check. So
All right.
roll 3d6.
Ooh, 14.
Wow. This is the best route that's ever been plotted. And that was a really good roll. Okay, cool. So the mayor's wife's not coming, but we've got a great route. So actually, maybe the rest of the team can use this information because that roll was so good. You plot out a route and you get all the permits and everything, and there's sort of this like there's this highlight of the route where it passes by a local favorite monument, and typically parades don't pass this monument just because the permits are harder to get, but because you're so organized and planning ahead, you're able to make it happen. All right, cool. So let's have Anna go next.
Okay, so Fish is going to is really feeling the creative direction for this, and so is really amped about making this an event for the history books. Is all about making a stamp on kind of the aesthetic and the symbolism of this event. And so given the route, Fish is just like really has a high vision for the materials used and the other artists that they want to bring into the collaboration, the colors, and maybe even, gosh, keeps dreaming big and big about who is going to model some of these looks, or who can design it.
Sweet. All right, cool. So let's have Fish make a creation check. So roll 3d6 and tell us what you get.
16.
What'd you get?
16.
Dang!
I know.
That's so good.
No lie. I promise.
This is the best. It's the best fashion. I don't know fashion terms. I'm a musician. It's the best fashion ever. It's the I guess do you call the outfits are they in a very amazing way just fully drive home the point of your artistic vision, which is to use the resources that we currently have to shape the future. So yay. All right. Cool. So let's have Rachel go now.
So Wanda is focusing on planning a VIP event at the end of the parade route, using Fish's inspiration for the event. So she's specifically organizing a list of 50 different VIPs from across the city, and has sent out invitations to those VIPs. And the other thing that she's done is use some of the relationships that she's built over time to assist with actually planning the event, and has managed to secure an in-kind donation for the catering.
Awesome. Cool. So, are you thinking that's like a resource gathering thing, or a yes? Okay. All right. Go ahead. Do it.
13.
13. All right. Cool. So, thanks to your work, so the one area that we've sort of been lacking in our preparation is getting we're doing really well in terms of the general public, but sort of populating that VIP experience has been a challenge ever since the mayor's wife was put off by Fish's designs. How dare she? But your work in preparing this VIP space is definitely helping along, and whereas is with all events, we're not quite to the goal yet in terms of number of people for the VIP event, but we're feeling real good about pretty much everything else here. So that leaves us with Yelena. It is your turn. How are you preparing?
So, well, of course, I'm collaborating with all of my artists who are going to be participating in the parade, making sure that they are working to the deadline, which is approaching for my parade, and trying to organize the rehearsals, trying to make sure that if there's going to be collaboration between musicians and fashion and creators and textiles, that everything is done well ahead of time, making sure that my artists are well clothed and fed and they are working. So as a manager, that's my role.
All right, cool. So let's have you roll a collaboration check. So roll 3.
Okay, I don't have dice, so I'm just going to pull out a number out of my head. How about 18?
Can you type into Google roll 3d6?
Let's see. It's going to take me some time.
Like that.
Okay.
Into Google. Oh, wait.
Wrong
Thing.
3, 8, 6. Go. Roll dice. Hey. It says 6.
It says 6. Uh-oh.
No, something is wrong. Roll.
That could be right. Us managers, we're not rolling the best dice here today.
How about 11?
11. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So you're doing your job as a manager, and it's going pretty well. And the artists are working. There are some hiccups along the way, as there always are, but you're able to get them on deadline, and you're able to get them communicating, which is always one of the biggest challenges when coordinating a group of people, is that communication. So we have a pretty good event planned here. We've got the general public is super duper interested. We've got almost a full list for our VIPs, and we know that the artistic side is in terrific shape. So, that being said, we do have... This has been really fun. We do have, like, 3 minutes left. So we can do this, so we can do a couple different things here. I can either narrate how it goes with the last of our 3 minutes, if you want to see the conclusion, or you can ask questions about how this might be used in like a training kind of way. I saw vigorous head nods on the narrate the ending part, so maybe I should just do that. Is that the general consensus? Okay, cool. All right. Yay, that's more fun for me anyway. Okay. So, ooh, I need to make a roll myself here. Okay. All right. So, the parade begins swimmingly, and there is a big, nice community turnout. The managers and the administrator have a slight moment of panic about 15 minutes into the parade, because they realize that for some reason the mayor is late, and there's a part of you that thinks that the mayor might not come. However, the mayor does show up eventually, and wouldn't you know it, Magnifico is with him. And it seems that Magnifico delayed the mayor in some way. The art is fabulous, the community is very pleased, and you manage to get enough stakeholders in the VIP experience to have talks about this whole funding situation for the arts during this war. And now what I'd like to do is super fun and quickly, everyone roll one of your 6-sided die and type into chat what that number is. Okay. Wow. This is some dynamite rolls. Okay, so... Okay. Alright, cool. So we were rolling for if this parade gets lit on fire or if it goes smoothly. And... Yay! Alright, so each of you has your own little crisis that you have to deal with on the day of, and you do so swimmingly. And the mayor releases a statement the next day, stating that although there's still much work to be done, his mind has been changed, and he views the arts as an essential part of the city, and is going to do his best to keep as much funding as possible. So, yay! So this has been fun. I will definitely appreciate any feedback. You're going to get a survey. Any feedback you can provide. In my original vision for this, it's obviously in person, and it's there's like 5 or 6 tables, each one populated by a group of 5 people, and there's more than one me. There's enough me's to be at each table. And each table is sort of doing the same story, but will be able to present how their story unfolded and sort of share ideas in the think tank kind of way. So, again, any feedback you can provide will be awesome. This has been fun for me because my job today was to run a game, and that's awesome. I think now I'm supposed to turn it over to Natalie. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I actually was just curious, do you have any contact info you're willing to share if people want to ask follow-up questions?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super easy to find on the internet. If you just type Eric Salazar, clarinet, or the clarinet guy, I'm there. I'll also punch in my email address right there. And I suppose my phone number as well. Email usually works better for me, just being honest.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you, Eric. This is awesome. Sorry.
thank you so much. That was super fun.
Yay.
Appreciate everyone coming.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. See you around. Bye.